Hi, I'm Edison.
DC.
And welcome to Femmes React. We are watching 180 Degrees Longitude Passes Through Us, episode 3. I got halfway through this episode and then found out the sound wasn't working, so we're gonna re-record it, but it'll be kind of our second time watching. I guess we have to just recap on what we're thinking so far. So far, I'm really enjoying the show, and I'm all for the relationship dynamic.
Insert jokes here about family peeing, you know. Other than that, like,
DC had a joke.
Uncle had to do it. Yeah. It was about family jewels and stuff like that.
The uncle is the heirloom.
Yes, but the uncle is hot, so not just act surprised when stuff happens. What? That happened?
The opening sequence kind of spoils some stuff.
Oh, so they do give
stuff away in the opening sequence and change it a bit.
Okay, so the opening sequences change each episode. There's some shows that do that, and I never notice because I'm just like, oh, okay.
Oh my god, it's Mama Go-Go all over again.
At least we get to see this pretty scenery again.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for this show, I would have just been like, scrap the recording, I'm not uploading an episode. Is this because of the dream he had? He's like, yes, he's losing himself. His dad's spirit is possessing him. We get to relive this moment.
Yeah. Ooh. I woke up like this.
I know, that was really nice. Oh, I like that robe. It's a really nice robe.
Wasn't cold. I think it was kind of hot last night. It's hot this morning.
Your eyes! Your eyes!
He's just undressing him with his eyes.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Well, I love it though.
He wasn't dressed that much, but you know. Need some help?
Alright, they're gonna build a bridge this episode. And the bridge is gonna be a metaphor, a symbol.
Here's that sexy moment again.
Oh.
Like making coffee in the morning in such a meticulous way. I enjoy that stuff, like freshly grounding beans and...
This is cute! They're such a cute couple already. Ooh, okay.
I guess that's where also they're showing the difference in age. Because the young guy is very impetuous.
Oh yes, just rock the one hoop earring, asymmetrical.
Yeah. She's still upset with him.
Wow, that's so cute.
That would be some of my fantasy. Just somebody making me breakfast in the morning, making me coffee and food.
Just put it out in the universe. I feel like that's realistic. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
You know what? It is. I have dated chefs where I do all the cooking. Like, they are chefs and I do the majority of the cooking.
Wow, that's rude.
With 2 chefs I dated.
อร่อย
You're like the first one. Nah, that was just unlucky, you know. But the second one, you're like, okay, there's a pattern.
Right?
Is it me? Why is no one cooking for me?
เกรงใจเนี่ยสิปกติเนี่ยตื่นเช้ามาฉันก็กาแฟแก้วฉันอาจจะไม่ทำแล้วนะละครอะไรเนี่ยเบื่อ
แต่มันเป็นงานที่มนรักมากเลยนะ
แล้วไงอ่ะทำไปก็ไม่เห็นจะมีคุณค่าอะไร
Oh my god.
นั่งกันดับสบายนะเดี๋ยวเราจะออกไปดูสะพานเห็นว่าวันนี้ช่างไม่มานะ
อ้าวสะพานอะไรละอินฉันไปด้วยสิ
ไม่ต้องหรอกแดดร้อนผิวเสียหมด
Yep, I would choose my skin over being passive aggressive with my son.
เองเขาขอโทษตัวเองยกโทษให้เขานะ
ตัวเองบอกว่าเขาไม่รับผิดชอบ
ไม่ใช่อย่างนั้น
ไม่ใช่อย่างนั้นแล้วคือยังไงอะสิ่งที่เขาทำมันไม่มีค่าเลยใช่ไหม
ตัวเองฟังเขาก่อนสิ
ตัวเองไม่เคยภูมิใจในตัวเขาเลยอะตัวเองเสียใจมากใช่ไหม
ไม่จริงเลย
ลูกเขาอะ
ไม่จริงเลยฟังนะตัวเองเป็นแม่ที่ดีที่สุดเขารักและภูมิใจที่สุดที่ตัวเองเป็นแม่ที่เข้มแข็งเลี้ยงเขามาได้จนโตป่านนี้
Aw, everything's solved. Aw, that's nice.
ตัวเองไปด้วยอะตัวเองก็นั่งเซ็งเปล่าๆอยู่นี่กับอาอินดีแล้วนะ
He's setting her up. She's setting him up. Them both are going to be together. That's a setup.
No, she's not setting up her son with the uncle.
She didn't set up the uncle with her husband, but she did probably.
Oh, hot uncle can solve my family troubles and cook me breakfast.
นี่กำลังคิดว่าจะสร้างสะพานเองให้เสร็จแบบไม่รอช่างแล้วอยากมาช่วยไหมล่ะ
Do you want to help me?
ไปสิฮะ
I'll give you a hand.
Hey, I'm about to go outside and work on this bridge and nail some wood. You want to help me?
บางมุมเขามันแดดอุ่น
He's warm as the sun, but as far as the moon.
บางมุมเขามันหนังสือที่เข้าใจยาก
Complicated as a novel, but simple as a coloring book.
ขี้แย
Jesus, 4 buttons are open. Why do you even have a shirt on?
แหวนไม่ใช่คนขี้แยสินะจำไม่ได้ด้วยซ้ำว่าร้องไห้ครั้งสุดท้ายเมื่อไหร่หรอ
Earlier you were just like, oh no.
ตอนผมเข้าโรงเรียนประจำแรกๆผมยังเด็กมาก นอนร้องไห้ทุกคืน ตกใจเสียใจไม่เข้าใจที่อยู่ๆก็ไม่มีพ่อแล้วแล้วอีกละฮะร้องไห้ครั้งสุดท้ายเมื่อไหร่10 กว่าปีมาแล้วมั้งตอนนั้นเรียนอยู่ที่เมืองนอกหลังจากนั้นก็ไม่ร้องไห้อีกเลยไม่ใช่ว่าใจแข็งหรือว่าอะไรหรอกนะ
When he split up with the dad.
ใจไม่มีอะไรมากระทบมากกว่า
He split up with the dear 10 years ago.
ได้ไหมฮะ
Right? No. He went to study abroad. He avoided the question.
อยากไปช่วยไหมล่ะไปสิฮะ เหลือแต่ตัว
You can feel it. You can feel it in his eyes. He's like, all this forbidden love. Forbidden. Well, it's not that forbidden, but it's still a bit forbidden.
แต่ผมก็ไม่รู้เหมือนกันนะว่าถ้าสร้างเสร็จแล้วอาอินจะเดินข้ามไปฟากโน้นบ้างหรือเปล่าหรือแค่ให้ชาวบ้านฝั่งโน้นเดินข้ามมา
These shots are so pretty.
ไม่ว่าจะการชงกาแฟการทำอาหารเช้าและแน่นอนแม้แต่สะพานข้ามลำธารเล็กๆที่ผมไม่เห็นว่าต้องคิดมากอะไร
Oh my god. I love these daddy son vibes. I don't know why. It's making me like, I'm like, oh, they're teaching him how to build a bridge. Like how he built a bridge with his mother. It's poetry. It's poetry. I think it's kind of also telling that he thinks about things long term and about the consequences of doing things impulsively and irrationally. And, you know, if the theory is like he left the dad because she was pregnant, you know, he was thinking about the big picture and instead of just his nipple, his wants, his wants.
Speaking of wants,
he wants to suck on the uncle titty. Oh.
วันนี้ได้เท่านี้ก่อนก็พอ
ไม่ทำให้เสร็จเลยล่ะฮะ
เดี๋ยวคุณสถิพลกลับมาเห็นว่าใช้งานลูกชายจะเป็นเรื่องเอาละสิ
คุณสศิวิมลแวะพูดอะไรกับอินตอนขับรถออกไป
ไม่มีอะไรเนี่ย
อย่าโกหกผมเลย ผมอ่านใจคุณสศิวิมลออกทะลุปรุโปร่ง
เหรอ งั้นลองถ่ายมาสิ
คุณสศิวิมลวางแผนจะเซอร์ไพรส์ผม
Oh, what?
I'm looking at this again, and I'm noticing the actors' small facial expressions, especially being surprised.
ถือว่าลูกไม้หล่นไม่ไกลต้น
Yes, the facial expression, like all the eye contact, facial expressions, the micro eyebrows, also
ก็
good.
เคยขับไปทางถนนปกติไง
ไม่สิ ผมหมายถึงข้ามลำธารไป
ทำไมต้องข้ามไปทางนั้น
จะได้รู้ว่าชาวบ้านเขาลำบากยังไง
ถ้าวัดจากคนที่เคยชินกับการใช้รถ การข้ามลำธารและเดินเท้าก็คงลำบาก แต่สำหรับคนที่เกิดและเติบโตที่นั่น การให้เดินอ้อมไปบนถนนปกติซึ่งไกลกว่ามาก น่าจะลำบากกว่า ไม่งั้นเขาก็ไม่ข้ามมาทางนี้ เราต้องไม่คิดแทนคนอื่นด้วยกรอบของตัวเอง ในเมื่อเขาข้ามมาทางนี้ เราย่อมรู้แล้วว่าความต้องการที่แท้จริงของเขาคืออะไร เขาต้องการสะพานเพื่อที่จะข้ามมาแน่ๆ แต่เขาอาจจะไม่ได้อยากให้เราข้ามไป
ไอ้ไม่ชอบเสียงกับทุกเรื่องใช่ไหมฮะ
Is this about them? This is about them.
ก็ไม่เชิง
This is about them. Him not making a move on him,
อาจจะ
right?
แก่พอที่รู้ว่าอะไรคือเสียงไม่ควรเสียง
ผมไม่อยากแก่ไปแล้วเสียใจที่ไม่ได้เสี่ยง ไม่อยากแก่ไปแล้วเด็กรุ่นหลังมันตั้งคำถามว่าเรามัวแต่ทำอะไรอยู่
I think that hit him hard. I'm just seeing this. I think that's his heart of it because he's still thinking about
ไอ้ตัวเริ่มหมดเลย
what he
Let me take it off for you.
should have done with that is not
Oh.
his shirt.
That's his chest. He's like, you got dirt on your chest, uncle? No, but yeah,
สบาย
it's gonna throw back to his decision and his regrets
อย่าไปนานนักล่ะ
as a younger person.
แม่กลับมาไม่เจอจะอด
Right. But then that does have regrets
ใครกัน
carry with him forward about what he's going to do with the son.
ผมว่ามันเป็น
And
เซอร์ไพรส์
maybe he'll be a little bit more wanton with it. Because he's still holding back.
The forbidden love. It's forbidden. He's not crossing the bridge. He's not taking the risk.
I still cannot get over him getting in that water with his jeans on. He should at least take his jeans off too. And like,
I do not have opposing views to that.
no, just because it's just into town.
เรามาทำอะไรสนุกกันดีกว่า
ทำอะไรดีอ่ะ
เล่นเกมนี้เนี่ยนะเขา
No, this is gonna ruin everything. Don't tell the truth. Always lie. Stop. No. Something's gonna come out. Something bad is gonna happen. Did you F my husband? Ooh, yeah. No. He F'd me. Like, ugh. Oh, that's some angry violin playing there. He's like, I spent all these years training as a classical musician, and all I'm doing is playing Happy Birthday to young, spoiled rich kids.
I know Mozart. Also, I think it's still cute that the cake is a globe. Something that he like.
ของขวัญวันเกิดขอติดไว้ก่อนนะแวง
พูดแล้วนะฮะ ผมจะคอยทวง
นี่ งั้น
Can y'all please
ทำอะไรสนุกกันดีกว่า
ระวังให้ดี
not in front of my salad, okay?
My Idol ของศศิวิมลก็คือ อลิซาเบธ เทเลอร์
ใครวะ
ตายแล้วแวง
You know what?
เป็นลูกผู้กำกับละคร
Him not knowing about Elizabeth Taylor is a failing on her part. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't raise that boy right.
อ่ะ ถึงตาเธอแล้วอิน
แล้วเหรอ
It's such a great actor. You can see him like the admiration sparkling in his eyes.
อะไรนะ ขี้โกง
กติกาไม่ได้บอกนี่ว่าไอดอลต้องเป็นคนเท่านั้นน่ะ
ขี้โกง ฉันรู้นะว่าเธอเลี่ยงคำตอบ
ไม่ได้เลี่ยง วาน 52 เฮิร์ตซ์คือไอดอลของเราจริง
ฉันรู้ว่าไอดอลของเธอคือใคร เธอแค่ไม่อยากพูดถึง
ใครฮะอาอิน
ๆ แล้วมนจะวางแผนให้เราตกหลุมพรางทำไม
Hmm. Okay,
Gotcha.
I think this is where we
ผมชอบคำตอบนี้
this is where we're starting afresh now.
วาน 52 เฮิร์ตซ์ ผมชอบคำตอบนี้นะ
รู้จักด้วยเหรอ
Oi!
วานที่ส่งเสียงด้วยความถี่ 52 เฮิร์ตซ์ ไม่มีใครได้ยิน ว่ายน้ำอยู่ตัวเดียวในมหาสมุทร ไม่มีใครรู้ว่ามันอยู่ตรงไหน
บอกพี่ฝนด้วยนะจ๊ะว่าขอชุดเลิศๆเลยนะ เอาแบบฆ่านางเอกตายทั้งวงการเลย
รู้ได้ไงว่ามันเหงา
ก็คงไปพรุ่งนี้นั่นแหละ ก็จะไปลองชุดก่อน
I get that.
ตั๋วให้ด้วยได้ไหม
Huh?
How you know you're lonely? Just don't want to be around y'all.
ศศิวิมลได้รับยายเอลซ่านะเขาส่งสัญญาณมาว่า ฉันน่ะเป็นตัวเต็งทั้งอันนี้ แล้วก็ละครยอดเยี่ยม เพราะว่าฉันน่ะแปลกกว่าเพื่อน เนื่องจากว่าอีก 4 เรื่องเนี่ยนะ เป็นละครวายทั้งหมด
The gays are losing. Oh no.
เขาย้ำว่าต้องไปให้ได้เลยนะ งานเนี่ยเขาจัด
She's fighting for the heads.
ฉันก็ต้องบินกลับไปแล้วตัวเองจะไปเป็นเพื่อนเขาไหม
She's gonna leave the child all alone.
รออยู่ที่นี่ดีกว่าไหม
ขอฝากหลานไว้2 วันนะ
Oh,
จะพอ
Uh-oh.
days.
Uh-oh. 2 days. Oh god. What a turn of events.
แล้วตัวเองไม่เล่นแล้วเหรอ
เล่นกับอินไปก่อนเลย
2 days.
My gosh. Anything could happen.
ตัวเองเป็นคนชวนแท้ๆเลย
Why don't we just eat the cake? Here's an idea.
That's what he's going to be doing in about 2 days. Okay.
สุขสันต์วันเกิด
I mean, yes, I support that. I support that.
ผมบอกแล้ว มันก็แค่วันธรรมดาวันหนึ่ง
Huh? What do you mean? It wasn't special.
Because his mom, it overshadowed his birthday.
คุณศศิวิมลซื้อสร้อยนี่ผมเพราะอะไร ไอรู้ไหมครับ
เพราะอะไรเหรอ
ให้อิจฉาพ่อ
Hmm?
เขาอยากให้ผมมีเขาติดตัวไปไหนด้วยเสมอ อย่างที่ผมมีพ่อ
มองเขาในแง่ร้ายเกินไปหรือเปล่า แม่เขารักแวงมากนะ
ทำไมอาอินถึงมีวาน 52 เฮิร์ตซ์เป็นไอดอล
เพราะมันอยู่ได้ด้วยตัวของมันเอง
He can live on his own and not answer these questions.
ขึ้นเสียงของมัน ไม่จำเป็นที่ใครต้องเข้าใจ ไม่มีใครหามันเจอ
มันไม่เหงาเหรอฮะ
ไม่มีใครรู้หรอกว่ามันเหงาไหม ธรรมชาติของมันเป็นแบบนั้น
ผมว่ามันเหงา
ตัดสินด้วยมาตรฐานของตัวเองอีกแล้ว แวงว่ามันเหงา เพราะแวงเหงา
Ooh.
Aww.
อาจจะจริงผมเหงา
ไม่ผิดหรอก เพราะเราเป็นมนุษย์จริงไหม ไม่ใช่วาน 52 เฮิร์ตซ์
อาอินฮะ ทำไมอาอินต้องเลี่ยงคำตอบด้วยฮะ
Daddy.
ใครคือคนที่แม่พูดถึง
Daddy!
ใครคือไอดอลของอาอิน
We're not playing the game anymore, bro.
อาอินคิดว่าอาอินกำลังส่งคลื่นความถี่ 52 เฮิร์ตซ์ถึงวานนั่น แล้วไม่มีใครได้ยิน แต่ผมได้ยิน
Huh?
Ooh. I hear you. I know who your idol was. My daddy.
ผมจะทวงของขวัญวันเกิดจากอาอินได้ไหมฮะ
Can you? Oh.
ถ้าของขวัญนั้น ไม่ยากเกินไปนะ
Tell me the truth.
อาอินเล่าให้ผมฟังได้ไหมว่าพ่อ
เราสามคน ต่างเสียใจไม่น้อยไปกว่ากันเลย
Ooh. Came out.
What? What?
ไม่มีใครเสียใจน้อยไปกว่ากัน
Yup. Told you
What are you sorry about? You. Oh.
that it happened. That it happened. Told you. Told you.
I mean, we knew it happened, but I didn't think it would come out like that.
Yeah. It happened. Sorry it happened. But, you know. But now we gotta find out when it happened.
ให้ไอร้อนของดวงตะวันโอบกอดเราเอาไว้
ยังเก็บของไม่เสร็จอีกเหรอ ไปแค่ไม่กี่วัน
ผู้หญิงนะจ๊ะ
เดินทางปลอดภัย พรุ่งนี้ขอให้คว้ารางวัลนะครับ แม่ไม่อยู่แล้ว อยากไปเที่ยวในเมืองไหม
ผมอยากอยู่ที่นี่ ห้ามมาสิฮะ ผมว่าอาอินไม่กล้า
Yes.
แบง
Of
รู้
course
ไหม
he is.
ว่าแบงมีความสามารถพิเศษ
แต่มันจะมีประโยชน์อะไรล่ะฮะ ถ้าเรามี แต่ไม่ได้ใช้
So that was episode 3. 180 degrees of longitude.
Oh my gosh, the ending was haunting. I will say watching things for the first time instead of the rewatch, because we were on the rewatch for about 3/4. Everything feels very slow the first time you watch it, but then when I was rewatching it, it passed by very quickly.
Maybe I also like this show because it's really good compared to what I'm watching, because I know that when I watch vice versa, it just seems slow. And even with the first watch and the second watch through, it feels like, okay, things are happening. Even though it's kind of spaced out, it doesn't feel long. You get some insight to the son and what he's feeling about N and how he thinks about it and stuff like that, as opposed to War of Y, which I'm watching right now, which it does have musical cues, just like 180 between us, but you don't get to hear the whole internal dialogue about what's happening, what's going on. This show does those two things very well. Even when there is not internal dialogue, you can see it between the actors. And just those, like we were talking about before, those microfacial things where En was surprised about him knowing his mom was doing this or doing that. And like, so yeah, it does it so well. I wouldn't mind rewatching this after it's done.
I am totally enamored. I'm so absorbed in the storyline, and I feel so present when I'm watching it. I'm like taking as much details as I can. I feel like a lot of shows try and do this, where you do get to understand what the characters are feeling, even though it's a mystery. It might be the acting, or it might be the direction of the story and the pacing, the music, but I can really feel the emotions of the characters. And it doesn't really need explaining. Part of it is the mystery, is that we're trying to work out the cogs in everybody's head, you know, like what are they trying to do through their actions and through their words, and what's being unsaid and how they're feeling, and you can see it in every little detail of their expressions, and it's really, really intriguing. Every moment you're kind of like, what is this parallel to, or what does this say about the character? I mean, the bridge building, we get such a good idea that En is meticulous, that he doesn't take risks, but it also lends itself to the situation that we're formulating or like theorizing about what happened between the dad. And I think it was so haunting at the end because we got a piece of the puzzle, and it was indirect. It wasn't like exposition. It was how he felt about the situation, but it's more like what they agreed about. I don't think I think it was a painful moment because him and the dad decided that whatever they did was a mistake. I think the situation is that the dad and En were best friends, and they had feelings that weren't talked about, but then the dad was like, I'll pursue the mom and, you know, see what life is like with, or something like that, you know? But then they still had feelings and they acted on them while the relationship was still happening. And so even though those feelings were true and real, it was a mistake because it was cheating. The whole thing where Wang was like, I don't want to live without regrets, and, you know, the young people are going to question your decisions as you're older. And I think he's really in a situation where he believes it was the right thing to do, but he still regrets doing it. And the whole whale thing, it all is painting a picture of his psychology, and that there's so many like things that we're putting together that he moved away to study, and that's when he had to call off the relationship, and that's when he cried, and that's why he's been keeping his distance so he doesn't become a home wrecker. And the whole whale thing as his idol is who he aspires to be. He wants to be strong enough to live alone, you know, like the whale isn't lonely, and that's how he sees the whale. And I also love all this like projection as well, because he recognizes that Wang sees loneliness only because he feels it. And so does that go back into how he deciphers the villagers' intentions? The villagers want to cross the bridge, but he doesn't want to cross the bridge to visit them because he just assumes that because they're not expressing interest or anything, that's the right thing to do. Like, there's so many layers here that I'm very interested in. And I feel like other BLs try to do layers, but they don't, or they can't. And I'm just seeing a lot here.
I don't think it was happenstance that En had to go away for school. I think that he went away to school on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What happened?
Yeah,
with the dad, it wasn't just like, oh, we have to go, but he purposely did that. The second thing is that I think it's that the 52 hertz whale is his idol because that was the life that he's living now. And that's the life he was living until Wang and his mother showed up, because he was out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knew where he was, and he was living like that. Even with them building the bridge, there was still a bridge or no bridge between him and the visitors. So he's lived that isolated life. And he is resigned to loneliness, where you maybe not accept it, but you're just resigned to the fact, okay, you know what? this is my life. This is the way it's going to be. Him not going across to the villagers is about him being resigned to being alone. And he can always take his car and go around there. I guess because also he has this feeling of maybe feeling a little bit toxic to causing pain to those people which you love, because he comes to find out that the dad who he was in love with when he left became an alcoholic and was in pain and all this other kind of stuff. So what N was feeling about him being toxic to the people he loved, it was true.
That's the thing. The thing is that he cut off all communication when he went away, and it was only until Mole, the mother, she told about how distant and how the dad's heart was somewhere else, that was when he discovered that those feelings were reciprocal. He wasn't forgotten about. The distance couldn't shut off the emotions, the wailness, the hurting, like they could still feel each other. And it hit him that even though they both agreed that their love was a mistake and that it was still the right thing in his head to do, which was to split up, it was still not for the best, I think. It's a very complicated situation, but I can really understand and feel the emotions that we're getting to and that the situation N was in. They couldn't live their love because of the situation that was happening with the mother. And I think
Wang all the way.
Yeah, she could have been pregnant at the time, definitely. I don't know when the timeline lines up, because Wang is 20, and I think he said he cried 10 years ago. So it could have just been, I don't know what the math is.
Right. Yeah, we're out. We'll just let the story tell us this because at that point it's like, 10 years ago. Is not that math ain't mathin', so.
But still, like, I get it. Like, I get the situation. Must be so painful to be in love with someone, both of you deciding that you can't hurt others with your love, and so you decide to try and forget about each other, fail in doing so because the dad became an alcoholic and, didn't love the mother back because he was still in love with N. Then have him die as a result of his alcoholism, him regretting everything, thinking that he must have indirectly caused the death, and then the grief, and then him seeing all that accumulate in a second chance in the sun. It's just a lot, and I love it. And I think that's just very harrowing about life. You make these decisions that you think is right. You sacrifice so much. And so I think you make decisions in life, but you never know if it was the right one. You can never be 100% certain that your parallel life in your other universe, they might be living their best life. And so I can see that internal struggle within In, where he doesn't know if it was for the best ultimately, because he could have lived a life not being a whale, and he did it for someone else. And it's just, it's great. I love this situation. I think there's so much, especially because there is that age of him. It's not university, it's not high school where there are like zero stakes. Like there's so much more in here. That's bad. It's bad that I relate to kind of imagining a life full of regret and kind of just getting to a stage where you're kind of like, I wish I lived more when I had more opportunities at my fingertips. So there's all these things. And obviously I empathize with the mom as well, because she's a victim, I guess, in all of this.
Yeah, she's kind of an unwilling participant. But then also she has her lovers because she also, I think the theme between all three of those people involved is loneliness. And even at the start, the mom had that guy fix her hot water and all this other kind of stuff. But that was loneliness. Yeah, she's with her son all the time and has him around. But the loneliness that she's feeling, it's a different relationship, and she can't fill that hole.
Everybody just needs to fill their holes.
And so it's a different type of loneliness, and it's probably a different type of loneliness that she was feeling with his father. And she's kind of felt that for a while, because even when his father was alive, she's feeling him kind of distant. So I think that the theme between all of this, and it connects to everybody, is everybody's lonely. You can be with someone and still be lonely. You can be in a crowd full of people and still feel alone. That's why she also doesn't want to let her son go. She doesn't want to let Wayne go, because she's afraid of feeling even more lonely. So it's also that fear that's motivating her.
And you can definitely tell that just by the way she's acting and her actions and all this stuff. We don't need an insight into her head, because everything she does correlates to what they're selling as her character. I think the interesting thing that I want to understand more is about the bridge analogy, and why, what the conversation was about, that you can't assume your ideas onto others. And it's more about when you do, you're really just projecting your own experiences. It's hard to really understand what someone else is thinking, and everyone's sort of like projecting a little bit onto each other. And I don't know to what extent or in what sense, with that theme of projection, seeing your own loneliness in other people, how much does the dad play into everything? Because there's still that dream that Pond had at the start. He's seeing himself in his father's shoes, and to what extent does that play into everybody's lives? How is Pond substituting the dad's role? I mean, and that's okay, right? It's okay. Anyways, let us know your thoughts. Put your comments down below. Leave this video a like. I'm really intrigued to hear everybody's opinions and theories, and I'm really excited for next week. So hope you enjoyed this reaction, and hopefully we'll see you next week for episode 4. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
See you later.